What's up, guys? It is the 30th episode of the MMA Roundtable. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got a lot to break down, even though this is one of the few episodes where we don't have a fight to break down or to preview on either end of it. But we got a lot of news. Luckily, it is May 9th. We got gloves, we got fight announcements, a whole bunch. Let's get into it. And thank you so much for tuning in. We are joined today with myself, Jay, Ray, Ramses, Patrick. Ray, what's going on with MMA Mental?
Yeah, we've had some more good interviews this week. Our biggest interview we had this week was with Luke Barnett. He come on the show. We chatted with him for 45 minutes. It was a really good, in-depth conversation. He spoke quite honestly and openly about his time in the house, which was great. He talked about who he'd like to face next. He was pretty harsh, actually, on some of the other contestants in the house and also on who he wants to face next and why. He was pretty honest, which it was a great interview. So that's up now, but I'll also be publishing that on this week's show. I also spoke to Steve Carl, who is co-headlining World Series of Fighting 3, and he thinks that if he wins his fight, he'll be getting a title shot at the winner of Fiction Bertman, which is very interesting. And then I also spoke to Neil Grove as well, who will be fighting. There's a big fight coming up in the UK soon with Ian Freeman taking on Ken Shamrock, and Neil Grove's fighting on the undercard of that. It's a pretty solid card. There's a lot of UFC and Bellator veterans on the card. Neil Grove's fighting Ollie Thompson, who's obviously in the UFC recently. You've also got Rico Rodriguez on the card as well. Andre Winner's on the card. It's a stacked card for the UK. So yeah, we talked about his fight and he broke down the card for us, which was really good. So yeah, definitely check out this week's show. That'll be up tomorrow.
For sure. And also, I forgot to mention, if you do want to add into the conversation, please feel free to tweet us. You can tweet us all, depending on whose sultry voice you want to read your tweet. Whether you want me, the autistic lesbian, to read it, you can tweet us at the MMA Podcast. Whether you want a velvety Englishman to read your tweet, and that'll be at MMA Mental, or whether you want to hear it from the word on the street himself, and that Twitter is the Aunt Jimmy Show. Speaking of which, what is the word on the street, Ramses?
We're doing good things tonight. We're going live tonight. You can listen to the Word on the Street podcast. We're going to be interviewing the immortal Bloodstained Lane. That's going to be great. But I just wanted to tell you guys real quick, there is success here. You do want to follow the Aunt Jimmy Show on Twitter. I was just at the grocery store here picking up some Zions energy drink for this podcast here. And some dude comes jogging up to me. You know, he's in a full sweatsuit, jogging suit. And he says, listen, aren't you the Aunt Jimmy Show on Twitter? I said, yes. And he said, I know you're about to be on the round table with all those guys. Tell them you all changed my life. Last week I was in a wheelchair. This week I'm jogging around. And then he ran out of there. It was the damnedest thing. It is the word on the street. Thank you.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's a very, very amazing thing. If you do follow him on Twitter, the Aunt Jimmy Show, your life will be changed. Usually for the better, but your life will definitely be changed. And also, we've got Jay from the Early Stoppage podcast on. Our friend Patrick was unable to make this recent episode, so I filled in for him. What's going on the Early Stoppage?
Yeah, man, I'm going to have to get in contact with Patrick after this show because, we missed out on having you on, Patrick. But don't worry, hopefully we can get you on next Monday if you're around. But this week we had another fun, fantastic episode with Jake. And, really good episode. Just a 30-minute show. So if you've got some time throughout the day, just check it out. It's on YouTube. It's at MMA Mental. It's at MMA Victor. But, just go check it out. It's a lot of laughs.
Definitely, and as Jay mentioned, MMA Victor, hit up MMA Victor. They've got a bunch of really cool side games for the upcoming UFC cards. Whether you want to just get into a free drawing and see who does the best, whether you want to put $1 in, whether you want to put $100 in, you're a big spender. MMA Victor, they have all of our videos too. If you want to check out MMA Mental, the MMA Podcast, the MMA Roundtable, Word on the Street, the Early Stoppage, it's all there. A pretty good MMA forum as well. That's MMAVictor.com. The MMA Podcast, like I mentioned, we're starting our new showtime tomorrow, Fridays at 6 o'clock Eastern. Yeah, just follow us on Twitter, The MMA Podcast, and visit themmapodcast.com. Before we get into the fights, actually, speaking of the MMA Podcast, we did a special Saturday night edition this past weekend for Chris's birthday, and we did it during the Floyd fight, the Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Guerrero fight, and Floyd still is undefeated. He's 44-0. But he cruised to another extremely, extremely boring call. He is the best defensive boxer ever. But yeah, did you see this fight? And if so, did you fall asleep watching it, Ray?
I must admit, I don't watch boxing. Boxing hasn't interested me for a long, long time. I didn't even know what the result of the fight was. I don't even care what the result of the fight was. So I'm afraid I can't help you on this topic.
Jay, did you see it?
Yeah, I managed to win some small amount of money. I didn't fall asleep because I watched it the next day. No way was I going to stay up for this fight. I put like, I don't know, I think I put a $5 on Mayweather by decision and won £2 back. So it's not really worth anything. So I got £7 in the bank, but whatever. It's expected. And yeah, that's what we expect to see when Mayweather fights somebody who isn't on the same technique level as him. He's got to go up or down, man. It's a joke staying in this weight class.
You people ever notice that every Floyd Mayweather fight brings us closer and closer to the death of boxing? This was pathetic, people. Let me tell you. It was we were doing the podcast, but I was watching it on one of my screens here at the compound. And I'll tell you right now, Floyd Mayweather, I stole the fight. I was watching it on an illegal online stream, and there's nothing you can do about it. Come and get me. This was pathetic. Listen, people, all you have to know is that Floyd Mayweather controls everything about all of his fights now. He gets a slice of the venue. He gets a slice of every ticket sold. He decides who the sponsors are going to be. He gets a chunk of that shit, too. He gets a chunk of the pay-per-view. He decides the when, where, and the who. Well, this is the most important part. Floyd Mayweather even pays his own opponent's purse. He pays the dude that he's fighting. Do you understand me? What if that were to happen in UFC? What would you think? You think that fight was fucking rigged for sure, but for some reason they let it go in boxing? Dead giveaway. Word on the street.
Patrick, did you see Guerrero versus Mayweather? You there, Patrick?
Yes, sir. No, I didn't see Guerrero versus Mayweather. I like watching boxing if I think it might be a good fight, but this is essentially, with Mayweather, it's like you're guaranteed a Guida Maynard fight almost every time. Just a dude on his bike. I heard he got a few good shots off, but I'm more into the full rules Muay Thai if I'm not watching MMA. So yeah, did not see this fight.
Hell yeah! Well, we will get back into mixed martial arts. This isn't a boxing podcast. And speaking about the difference between boxing and mixed martial arts, one of the biggest differences is the glove. Boxers use a 16 or 12 ounce glove. MMA uses a little 4 ounce glove. Dana White is going to be looking into changing the MMA glove. We recently had a bunch of eye pokes where Joe Rogan was calling for the change of the glove. Too many people were, just getting poked in the eye. I think we had 2 people get poked in the eye at UFC 159, and Gian Vellante and Alan Belcher. Do you think they should modify the gloves in mixed martial arts and the UFC to prevent pokes? Personally, I don't think it would make any difference. If someone's hands are going to be that close to the opponent's eyes, you're going to poke his eye whether your fingers are covered or not. The current gloves seem to be perfect. There aren't any complaints about them. You can grapple and punch guys in the face, which is really all you need to be worried about. Jay, should they modify the UFC's gloves?
I think it's very interesting the way that the gloves are actually set up. I think Hub Swanson banged on about it, and it's the exact same point I had when I first put on a glove. Basically, the hand itself, you have to tense to get your hands closed, as opposed to your hands naturally being curved. Eventually, of course, if you're using your own gloves, it becomes easier. They wear so that it's easier to clench your fist, because you're mainly clenching your fist, especially if you're a striker. I've seen that a lot of these eye pokes mainly are coming from the wrestler or the jiu-jitsu guys because they're on the defensive. They're looking for a takedown or stuff like that. The wrestling base is more lower, but a lot of jiu-jitsu guys have that hand out. But the easiest way to do it would be to bring back the Pride gloves. The Pride gloves were more worn in, were more flexible because you had padding. I think you had a little bit of padding over each finger, like a little knuckle thing. I can't really remember, but there was less eye pokes there. I think that's the way forward if you're going to progress, is to have a more curved glove. There is no point having something that overlaps your fingers. That would take away a lot of grappling ability. But yeah, they definitely need to look into it, and I'm glad that they are.
Breaking news, suckers, breaking news. I got the word on the street about gloves. Look, people. I train thug jitsu. I've been in more fights than I can remember. Let me tell you something. There's no such thing as an accidental eye poke. No such thing, all right, people? Listen, I tweeted this out yesterday, but here's the solution to the eye poking problem. UFC needs to change the rules, not the gloves. They need to say, listen, if you poke someone in the eye, even if it's accidental, if the tape shows you poking that man in the eye, it's an automatic disqualification. Not a point. You lose the fight. And I guarantee you would never see another eye poke again for years. That's the word on the street. It ain't no accident, people. They let it go so people do it. That's the word.
Damn. Yeah, you know what? I do think I think my boy Ramses is on to something there. I mean, when you go and change the gloves like that, it's just there's such a finesse in the grappling game. I mean, you want to have those fingers available just for, you know, your different pressure and weight distribution purposes. I think that's a good call. Just hit them with the DQ, roll that tape back. I mean, they got the guys up in the truck running the audio visual booth. I mean, they have that replay up in a matter of seconds on the TV broadcast. You know damn well they could feed that into the live show, which they do. You know, just put it up there. 5 seconds. Get the ruling. Get it right.
Something needs to happen with the gloves. I don't know. I don't know what the result is, but something does need to happen. I also like the idea of there being a clear indication of what happens for a foul, because at the minute it seems to be down to the referee's discretion, and that's not just eye pokes. That's, you know, a kick below the belt, grabbing the fence. I mean, how many times do you warn somebody about grabbing the fence before you take a point? And it's too much up to discretion of the referees, and sometimes we'll let it go 3 or 4, sometimes they won't. I mean, obviously the last event we had the two eye pokes. One fight shouldn't have been stopped, obviously, because it was a ridiculous decision by the ref. The referee just fucked up. But the Michael Bisping Bouch one obviously should have been stopped because his eye was bleeding. But yeah, they need to do something. I don't know what they can do there, because it's so hard if they don't want to limit the grappling. But yeah, I hope they do something. I just don't know what it is they can do.
You just said doo-doo. All right. Yeah, it's something that, yeah, maybe, you know, I don't know if I agree with the instant DQ, but I do think there needs to be punishments, because you have guys like Koscheck, guys who like literally are just throwing fingers out toward your eyes every time, knowing that, hey, if I poke him, what is, you know, all right, I get warned and my opponent can't see. That's a good thing. Nate Diaz, you know, I do think Bindo would have beaten Nate either way, but if you saw Nate Diaz at the post-fight press conference, that eye was fucked up, and it obviously took away from his fighting. An eye injury in the ring is very serious. You lose vision out of one eye, your depth is fucking shot. I actually went on like this ski trip once. It was some bullshit church ski trip. The day before, I was playing basketball, got an incidental headbutt to the eye. Had like 6 or 7 stitches over my eye, and my right eye was swollen shut. And I could not ski for shit because I kept crashing because I had no depth perception looking out of one eye. Injuring one eye, lacking vision out of it, completely fucks you over. So
yeah, just try. Just try it right now. What's weird? It's even weird if you close one eye and try to type on a keyboard. Try it, suckers.
Yeah. Just close one eye. I literally tried to close one eye and put my finger on the letter J on the keyboard, and it came down on a little space, but between the M, the N, and the space bar. You fucking can't do it. You got to do something about the eye pokes, not the gloves. We will move on to this fool, George Masvidal, saying he wants an easy paycheck and wants to fight Pat Healy or Jim Miller. I don't know. I guess maybe his definition of easy paycheck is extremely difficult paycheck, because Pat Healy and Jim Miller are fucking animals. They're machines, and you're not going to be able to finish either one without getting pretty fucked up doing so. I don't know. Has this fool completely lost his mind, Ramses?
Man, look, Jorge Masvidal, is that look?
Yeah,
I've heard the name before. I'm not gonna lie, I've heard the name before, but I'll be damned if I can think of anybody he's fought, what he looks like, what division he's in. I have no idea who this punk is. But if he says he wants to fight Bam Bam Healy and Miller, I know who those fucking guys are. I don't think he's that crazy though. Let's keep it real. The fact that he's a nobody and he's calling out a somebody, I gotta at least applaud him a little bit. You know, he's ripping that off, obviously, from another fighter, but that's what you need to do. I wish we saw more people calling out others. So, you know what, Jorge, I'll give you a chance, cocksucker. That's the word on the street.
I think George fought Gilbert Melendez at the same Strikeforce where Cyborg killed that lady.
Did he get his ass whooped?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you know what? I like Jorge Masvidal coming out like this. I mean, he just came into the UFC. If I remember correctly, he fucking destroyed KJ Noons at Strikeforce. With what I think will help him to his UFC success is his diverse skill set. He's got that, he puts it all together. He's got the strikes, the punches, the kicks. He's got the good grappling and everything like that. He's a pretty good all-around fighter. He looked good taking on Tim Means, who was a huge 155, who was a very highly touted prospect. Tim Means, he'd been looking real good, just destroying Justin Salas and some others in his 2 UFC wins. But I like him coming out. And as far as his chances against Miller or Healy, I think he's got a good shot just because he does mix it up so well. I think he would have a little bit of size on Miller. I'm actually not sure about Healy. But yeah, I think I like him coming out with that bravado, and I know he can back it up and put on a good fight. If not, potentially win either fight.
Ramses, I'm calling you out. You want people calling people out? I want you. I want you in your hometown, Austin, Texas. I'll be there. The back of that shop that you're always talking about where you get your Zions from.
Oh, man, it'll be Texas versus the UK, man. It'll be World War III, man. I'm ready for it, man. Challenging me in my own city. I don't want to hear you,
but I've listened to how you beat a bum. I listened. I'm coming for you.
You should have been scared out of your mind, man. I'm going to treat you like a bum. Hands down.
Right, I'm staying in the UK then.
It's over, Sugar Ray Thompson. It's over.
George Masvidal. I mean, his fight with Tim Means, it was a very, very close fight, and I think the decision was right, but it wasn't overly impressive. I know, obviously, he'd had some good wins in Strikeforce. The Miller and Healy fight was fantastic, and it makes sense for George Masvidal to make that call because he wants to ride on their coattails. He wants to be talked about in the same breath with them at the minute, because after that fight, especially Pat Healy, of course, he's come out of nowhere in the sense of he's come from Strikeforce and he was kind of towards the top of the lightweight division in Strikeforce, but that doesn't mean a lot compared to the UFC top of the lightweight division. And same as Josh Thompson, they flew up the ranks now. So yeah, George Masvidal obviously wants to be part of that. So I can see him making the move, and he is a good fighter, and whoever he fights will be competitive. But to be honest with you, I'd pick him to lose both of those fights, but that doesn't mean he's not right to make the call, and that doesn't mean he's not in a position to put on a good fight with them.
Man, if he's talking about an easy paycheck, I mean, yeah, he'll get his show money. Whether he'll walk out with the win bonus as well, that's the harder question. I think he's got something wrong in the head if he really thinks he'll be able to beat somebody on the same level as Healy. Miller's been inconsistent for a while now. Yeah, he went on that 7-fight win streak, but being a black belt who managed to survive the submissions of Charles Oliveira and submit him of his own and then getting caught in a basic guillotine, I don't know. He's obviously taken too many shots. He looked incredibly impressive against Joe Lozon, but then the inconsistency. Maybe Masvidal could take the win away from him, but anybody else in the division, maybe Nate Diaz versus Masvidal, that seems to make sense. And he'll get his easy paycheck, being the easy, show money. But he's not going to get, at least in the top end division, he's not going to get any easy paychecks for winning the fight.
Yeah, I think probably it's more of him trying to put himself in that position in the weight class rather than actually thinking they're easy paychecks. George's last fight was against Tim Means. Miller and Healy would both be tremendous steps up in competition, which is something you probably want, and sort of relates to our next topic. Pettis saying he wants an easy fight with Nate Diaz. I totally get when guys talk about other guys way higher than them in their weight class because they want to move themselves up that division. But Anthony Pettis, you would have been in line to fight Benson, but instead you decided to move down and fight Jose Aldo. Two champions, two guys on top of their sport. You have a really good chance, probably a better chance than anyone's ever had, to dethrone Jose Aldo at 145. You're talking about moving back up. Out of all the people you could call out, there's a possibility that by the end of the year you could be a division champion. You could beat Jose and then move back up and grab the 155 belt too. I mean, that's not likely, but it's a possibility. Of all the people in the world to call out, why are you calling out Nate Diaz coming off 2 losses? Does he think he's going to lose to Aldo? I just really can't get why he would call out Diaz. Patrick?
Jake, it is a head scratcher. The only thing I could think of, and it hardly even makes sense, I don't even think the UFC would allow it, was that regardless of his performance at 145 pounds against Jose Aldo, maybe he wants a tune-up fight moving back up to 155 before the Benson Henderson thing. I don't even know with how the UFC does things. I don't even think they allow that. They'd want to do the champion versus champion thing. Promote the fuck out of it, throw a ton of money at it, and do the quick cash grab. So I've got no clue where the fuck this is coming from. Very interesting. Got to question his motivation and what he's thinking about right now. I mean, like you said, Jake, he's got the potential to be a 2-division champion and pretty quick here. So what's he doing worrying about Nate Diaz?
It's a strange one, isn't it? Because obviously we all know how good Anthony Pettis is. And, I mean, I really, really think he has got such a good chance of beating Jose Aldo. And he's already beaten Benson Henderson in what was, considered one of the best fights, some people say of all time. Of course, we got the Showtime kick. So him calling out Nate Diaz is a step down, but Nate Diaz is still a very exciting fighter. He's still very, very relevant. I know he had the loss to Josh Thompson and he had the loss to Benson Henderson, but he still puts on great fights and people still like to see him fight. So, yeah, I can see why he's doing it. And why not raise your stock even more by beating someone who is as good as what Nate Diaz is? Because Nate Diaz is still a very, very good fighter.
It is an interesting one. I didn't even see this originally. Pettis all day. If this fight was going to take place, he's got the kicks. He could make Diaz look like a fool. I think the only reason he's calling him out is because Thompson was able to finish Nate Diaz with the head kicks, and Condit was able to beat Nick Diaz with the kicks. Why he's not paying attention to his own division, I I don't quite know, but his new division is Jose Aldo. He should be concentrating on Jose Aldo. I think he's just trying to play some head games with Nate Diaz, because Nate Diaz has never been called out by, a lot of people in the division. So if anybody's going to call him out and get in his head, everybody should be on that bandwagon now, especially if you're top in the division. You should really start. This is your chance to pick at them. He can only fight one person. He can't fight everybody. So if everybody's going to start picking at him, he's just going to get angry and wound up and frustrated, and it's just going to make him go on a downward spiral in terms of his career and stuff. So yeah, why not start calling him out? Go for it, guys.
Sniff, sniff. Something stinks here. Somebody help me out. Pettis' next fight is still scheduled to be with Aldo for the belt, right? That's correct?
Yep.
Okay. So he's got a title fight already lined up, and he's already calling out a weaker guy. I'm no fucking genius here, except that I am. But let me tell you what's happening here. This all signs pointing to Pettis probably being injured right now. All right, he probably knows he's gonna fuck this one up. Gonna have to go back up, and we'll need a tune-up fight. Calling out a guy who's coming off of a loss. What more do you need to know? He's probably working some sort of injury. He's scared out of his mind. He knows it's all over against Aldo, or maybe the UFC worked him, and he's gonna actually take a dive with in the Aldo fight. Who knows? But if he's starting to call out a lesser opponent before a title fight, I'm thinking something's fucked up with him. He's probably re-injured himself again. That shoulder, it's a dead giveaway. That's the word on the street.
Is it back to me? Yes, it is. Wow. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's there are lots of different takes you could see it at, but at least the only thing we know for sure now, we don't know whether he's going to stay at 145, move back up, whether he's ever going to fight Nate Diaz. We know he's scheduled to fight Aldo at, I believe, UFC 163. That's going to be August 3rd in Rio. So we will see what happens. And that does bring us to Guess That Tweet. And before we get to the tweet game, we actually got a letter from one of our listeners who is a statistician at MIT. That's Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He said he's a big listener, and it bothered him that Jay seemed to just come on the podcast, and I believe he's won like 5 in a row. He's been first or second every single time, which is like 11 times. And he did us the favor and ran some statistical progressions. And he sent me this giant stack of papers, like 150 pages long. And said really the last 149 were all data, but the top page was all I needed to read. And the top page said simply that with 100% confidence, he can confirm that Jay has been tweeting at Guess That Tweet, and it is completely impossible for him to have achieved.
He's been tweeting at Tweet That Cheat?
He's been,
what did you just say?
He's been cheating at Guess That Tweet. That's hard to
Guess That Cheat.
Look, yeah,
tweeting
this is
at
the thing.
Guess That Cheat.
I've heard that people are saying this isn't Guess That Tweet, it's Guess That Cheat, and they've all been pointing the fingers to me. I don't know what you want to do about this crap, but all I know is I've been winning fair and square, and if you guys want to kick me, do whatever you want, man. I'll be back. Whenever the hell I'll be back. I'll still come back and win this thing.
Alright, well, when you come back next week, you will win it all. We're giving you a 1-podcast suspension. We're kicking you out.
On. So you're all kicking me out,
Kick
yeah?
him out.
Oh, you
Patrick.
dicks. Yeah, guys, check out the early stoppage, and I guess I'm kicked out. See you later.
See you later, Jay.
Bum.
Get the fuck out of here.
Go back to hell.
Go back to hell where you came from. Get the fuck out of here. And this week's Guess That Tweet will be hosted by Patrick. And I guess with Jay being kicked off of the show, he will be back next week. But, yeah, it's just myself, Ray, and Ramsey. So I'll cue up the music and pass it off. We don't have to worry about a cheater this week. Patrick, it's all you.
Thank you, Jake. And I'm so glad to be rid of that filthy bastard, Jake. Damn dirty cheater. What a snake. No, I'm just kidding. I got love for Jay, even though he is a filthy cheat.
Fuck that
That's
guy.
all right. You know, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right? You can't fault him for that, guys. Okay. So we're still a ways out from the fight. We're about nine days out from the fight, so I believe. some shit like that. But we're still going with the UFC on FX theme here in Brazil. Let's get it going. First tweet is directed to @Sun and Jail. Your TRT days are over. Getting an hour of sunlight with your testicles out in the sun shining will increase your testosterone. So who's thinking about Uncle Chael's balls hanging out? Was it John Cholish? Was it Jeremy Larson? Was it Roger Holay? Or was it Nick Lentz?
All those guys are so irrelevant apart from Nick Lentz, in my opinion, but I'll go for Roger Holay.
Yeah, wow. I'm kind of shocked. I didn't see it. It was Holay, Lentz, Larson, and who else?
John Cholish.
It was, it was John Cholish, Jeremy Larson, Roger Holay, and Nick Lentz.
I have no idea. Lentz, I'm trying to think. Lentz trains in Minnesota, and I feel like Shirk and Lesnar are also from there, so he can't really be hating on people on steroids. Fuck, I'll say Cholish.
That lineup sounds like the bum Hall of Fame. I'll go with... Holy fuck. I don't even know who these people are. Let's go with Nick Lentz.
I'm going to change mine to Larson.
Well... Okay, I don't know what the official rules are on that. But, okay, so Ray's got Larson. Ramsey's has Lentz.
And I have Cholish.
Yes. Gentlemen, you're all wrong. Ray, damn you. It was Roger Holay.
Wow.
You get the point, Patrick. Oh, what an idiot.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is how I'm going to prove that I was actually throwing every episode I lost by winning as the host, by being the first member of the roundtable to win the host.
We'll see.
Here we go. Tweet number 2. Thanks to @110 Play Harder, I can work all day, get 2 workouts in at night, and still have fresh legs in the morning to do it all again. Hashtag do work. Was it A, John Cholish, B, Jeremy Larson, C, Roger Holay, or D, Nick Lentz?
Ooh, this one. You know what? I'll stick with Nick Lentz. I have no idea who these fucking people are.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'll stick with Cholish.
Can you read that tweet out again, please, Patrick?
You got it, Ray. It was thanks to @110 Play Harder. I can work all day, get 2 workouts in at night, and still have fresh legs in the morning to do it all again. Hashtag do work.
So who were the 4 guys? Was it the same 4 as last time?
Yep, same 4 as last time.
Okay.
Cholish, Larson, Holay, and Lentz.
I'm thinking Nick Lentz.
All right, well, it was not Jeremy Larson. It was not Roger Holay. It was not Nick Lentz. It was John Cholish.
Yeah.
Goddamn Jake coming through, taking the lead 1-0, 1-0, respectively. All right, tweet number 3. Now, forgive me, whoever this guy is, for butchering your name. Congrats to @Jimmy Spikuza and @Bam Bam Healy on their wins last night. Obviously, this is a couple weekends ago. Pat even doubled up on those bonuses. Great work. Was it A, Evan Dunham, B, Chris Camozzi, C, Luke Rockhold, or D, Mike Rio?
I'm going to go for Evan Dunham.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of stoned and I spaced the fuck out during that entire thing, but I heard you say Mike Rio, so I'm just gonna say Mike fucking Rio, why not?
I'll go with, I'll be damned if I could name even one word off that tweet, but I'll go with, you say Rockhold was one of them? He's my choice. Rockhold.
Oh, okay. Everybody making some terrible, rash decisions here. So it wasn't Chris Camozzi. It was not Mike Rio, Jake, you high-ass bastard. And it was not Luke Rockhold. It was Evan Dunham. Ray, you get the point and tie it up.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Tweet number 4. Tied up with 1-1. Ramsey's looking to get on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So the tweet is, looking for a good set of hashtag rims? I'm sorry, I just got to emphasize that this is the letter U. You got to check out
John Jones.
Yeah, and he's saying you got to check out at Lexani Wheels. Follow them and see what's up. So again, looking for a good set of hashtag rims, you got to check out at Lexani Wheels. Follow them and see what's up. Someone is stuck in 2005. Is it Evan Dunham, Chris Camozzi, Luke Rockhold, or Mike Rio?
Is it cheating if I ask if any of them are black?
Ooh, Jake, as the podcast unofficial captain of the roundtable, what would you say on that?
I'd say they're all white.
Okay. Shit. Are you sure they're all... All right. Read me the choices one more time.
All right. You got Dunham, Camozzi, Rockhold, and Rios.
Well, if you're positive they're not black, I'll go with the next closest thing, the Hispanic guy, Rio.
Yeah, it worked for me last time. I stuck with my guy, so I'll go with Rio, I guess.
I'll go for Chris Camozzi.
And it was not Evan Dunham. It was not Luke Rockhold. It was not Chris Camozzi. It was Rio.
Woo! Yes.
As he's getting on the board, Jake holds ahead. It's Jake with 2, Ramsey's with 1, Ray with 1. And we're going into the final regulation tweet. So this one's going to be a squeaker with 3 E's. All right. Now get ready. I'm actually going to try and butcher the Brazilian language. Actually, it's the Portuguese language. Pardon my fucking ignorance. It's jogando con Minotauro contra Fabiano Pereira. Jogando contra o Shogun. Knockout day o Shogun number 2 round. So I'm assuming he's saying he's thinking Shogun's going to knock out, or Minotauro's going to knock out Shogun round 2. So who's making this bold prediction? Is it Francisco Trinaldo? Is it Gleison Tibau? Is it Fabio Maldonado? Or is it Vitor Belfort?
Is it me first this time? Oh, fucking...
Yeah, Ramsey's your first.
Holy shit, sorry guys. These bums, man. I was saying, it's like trying to... Fabio Maldonado.
I spaced out again, but I think I heard Fabio Trinaldo or something, so I'll go with him.
What are the other 2 names? It was Vitor Belfort and
Gleison Tibau.
I'll go for Vitor Belfort.
All right. Well, it was not Gleison Tibau. It was not Vitor Belfort. It was not Francisco Trinaldo. It was Fabio Maldonado.
Yes.
Ramsey timed up 2-2, going and sending us into overtime.
That's right. I'm right.
Ooh. Right. Sweet.
Does that mean am I out now?
Sadly you are.
I think he is.
I hate this game. Are you joking?
I do too, Ray. I do too. I was hoping to be the first host to win. Actually, that's right. I was on the board with 1 point myself. I'm not giving myself enough credit, which I should. All right. Overtime tweet, gentlemen. Here we go. You can fight amongst yourselves who gets to pick first. I'll start it out with the tweet. Such a blessed morning at the church. Thank you, God, for everything. Was it A, Yuri Alcantara, B, Hackman Diaz, C, Rafael Natal, or D, Vitor Belfort?
You can go first, Ramses.
Damn, let's see. I think Vitor's a red herring here, too obvious. Can you read me the first 3 choices again, please?
Yes, sir. All right. Was it Yuri Alcantara, Hackman Diaz, Rafael Natal, or D, Vitor Belfort?
I'll go with choice A. I don't remember who it was, but let's go with that.
I'll go with Natal. I'll go with Rafael Natal.
All right, well, it was not Vitor Belfort. Brilliant deduction, Ramsey. It was not Hakron Diaz. And it was not Yuri Alcantara. Jake, you fucking son of a bitch.
Hell
it was
yeah.
Rafael Natal, and again. Everybody hates you, sir.
11 championships. I'm Anderson Silva. I guess that tweet. Jay is the Sean Shirk. He's the cheater. He's the steroid champion. And I'm going to be here with my championship. And there's nothing any of you motherfuckers can do about it. And that is the end of Guess That Tweet. Thank you for hosting, Patrick.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? And I was all kidding aside. Of course, it's all love around here. I'm just joking at the end there. But honestly, have your boy at MIT run some fucking statistics on what the odds are of you winning 11 times out of
It's true.
what's it? Well,
Out of 30?
out of 23.
All right,
I think
28.
Jake sacrificed Jay, but Jake's the real cheat.
Hey,
Yep.
I'll see if he'll run a few numbers over there. And also everyone thinking that we're assholes and we really kicked Jay off the podcast. He had to go.
He's been crying to me on the phone. He wanted to stay for the whole show. We kicked him off.
Damn.
Speaking of guess that tweet, there were a couple instances where Ramses and I got lost. We had issues with our short-term memory retention. And speaking of that, Dwayne Ludwig is saying he's using marijuana to help his fighters at Alpha Male. What are your thoughts on this, Ray?
I'm a bit shocked by it, really. I mean, I know some of you guys like a smoke. Obviously, I'm a bit more boring, but I don't think that top athletes should be promoting the fact that they're using something that's, in the eyes of the law, illegal. So whether they're using it or not, that's one thing. But to actually promote the fact they're using it, I think that's a little bit stupid, personally. But that's just my opinion.
Well, it is legal in the state that he's in. I'll give him that. And I was a little surprised though too, because me and Jake we interviewed Dwayne Ludwig on the podcast here, the MMA podcast, a couple weeks ago, and I believe I even mentioned being high or something at some point, to which he had no reply whatsoever. I don't know, man, but it's good that he blew his own cover. He's coming clean here, saying what we already know. Everybody in the MMA world is smoking that weed. Everybody. I don't care who you are. And so God bless Dwayne Ludwig. It's obviously paying off. We're seeing the results itself. It should be legalized across the board everywhere. It's time to let go of superstition and old. These people are getting fined left and right, getting fired, suspended for smoking a plant when the trainer's saying, "Hey, it's only helping." It makes me sick talking about it. Free Rosenthal, word on the street.
Amen, Ramses. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's beautiful to hear, up there at Team Alpha Male. They're up there in Northern California, in or around the Emerald Triangle, as we like to call it. I mean, that is basically that is the weed mecca of North America. If you're buying the Crip in North America, it's probably coming from Northern California, or else it's some BC brick, and you don't want to fuck around with that shit. You might as well be getting the swag from TJ. But anyhow, it's good to hear Dwayne's doing it. Smoking weed, it makes you a champion in life, in everything you do. It's not a performance-enhancing drug at all. It is a mental capacity-increasing herbal stimulant created by the gods themselves. It is the best thing in the world. And truthfully speaking, good on Dwayne Ludwig for introducing Team Alpha Male. They were looking like a bunch of squares up there. They need a few hits of the joint. And, hey, look, it's loosening up their striking game. They're looking good. They're knocking people out. It's a good thing. I'm all for it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think that it's different for everyone. And if there's guys on Alpha Male saying, yeah, I don't really want to do this, it isn't like, Dwayne's going to be forcing a joint down their beak. and what he said did make a little bit of sense, saying that, yeah, when I watch fight film high, it's different. I look at it differently. I pick up different things. I learn different things about myself and my opponent when I look at this fight film. I watch it sober. I watch it weed, and I get things from both. So, we have seen a resurgence of the alpha male camp. Dillashaw, Benavidez, and Mendez all winning on this most recent card, and he's a hell of a trainer. Everyone who talks about him speaks well of him. So we'll probably be seeing more of the same. Honestly, when we had him on the MMA podcast a couple weeks ago, I thought he maybe sounded a little punchy, but he was probably just high as fuck. We will move on. Anderson Silva, no showing an event, fined $50,000. At first, people thought that he skipped this knowingly and just didn't care and bounced on it. Silva said that he did not mean to skip it. It was an accident. Blah, 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 blah. Is a $50,000 fine too much, Ramses?
That's a lot of fucking money. Yes, Anderson Silva is a multi-millionaire, but that's still a lot of fucking money for, And but is the fine too much? I don't think so, because let's face it, he's fucking the UFC every time this happens. And word on the street is the UFC isn't too impressed with how UFC 159 did on the pay-per-views. People, it performed lower than expected, so they got that news, and they're like, shit, we gotta promote these fucking fights. Anderson Silva's our next best chance. And what does he do? He fucking no-shows at the event. This probably pissed the UFC off tremendously. They gotta promote these fights and sell these pay-per-views, man. UFC 159 was a disappointment, people. So yeah, that's probably what happened here. And plus Anderson was probably being a dick. Word on the street.
I don't think that 50,000 is too much. I think it's not enough. Anderson Silva, he's making it rain out in Brazil. He's got chips stacked to the ceiling. He got with me regarding some particular investments. I'm very familiar with the economic situations of the Southern Hemisphere. Anyhow, it's not enough money. You got to find him at least 100 G's. I mean, we've all seen Anderson Silva. He shows up when the fuck he wants to show up. He's like a gay Garden Musasi. He doesn't fucking care. He gets in that ring. He's got his fucking hands down by his waist, and he just does not care. He fucking throws punches with disdain. Everything he does, it's just with a contempt for his opponents and just for everyone for wasting his fucking time with such trivial pursuits as cage fighting other people. I mean, he just fucking destroys people so handily. It's boring him at this time. You got to do something to motivate him. And what better way than to hit him in the pocketbook? That's the only thing I can think of to get him to those fucking conferences.
I know he's supposed to have missed them. What did he actually miss out of interest?
He missed.
It's like a pre-fight press conference, like one of those. They'll have the pre-fight press conference like a month or two in advance of the event, and then they'll have another pre-fight. Then they got the weigh-ins. Yeah.
The only thing is with the fine is, right, obviously he's been fined $50,000, and it isn't a lot of money to him. But then if someone else misses it, I mean, we obviously had the whole fiasco with Nick Diaz turning up as and when he wanted. Do you hit Nick Diaz $50,000 each time? Because obviously he's not getting the same money as what Anderson Silva's got. So there's got to be a level ground. It doesn't seem fair to fine $150 and then another one less than $50, but at the same time, you can't fine him the same because he hasn't got the same kind of money. So there's got to be a level. I've never heard them fine him before. They didn't seem to fine Nick Diaz, but they did drop him from the fight. So yeah, I don't know whether it's too much or not enough, but they need to be consistent over what they do. They can't treat people differently. That's my only view, really. They need to be consistent.
Yeah, we talk about 50,000 being a lot. It's way less of a punishment than, say, a Nick Diaz who got a championship fight pulled out from under him. It's tricky. Basically, there just needs to be better communication. If Silva didn't mean to do this, then something went wrong, and this seems to happen a lot. So maybe a little bit better communication back there. A story coming out recently, Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier almost coming to blows. I don't have the story in front of me, but it was a recent event, and I think Cormier and Jones were like getting in their car, and Jones mouthed off to Cormier, and they exchanged words. Jones actually tweeted out like recently, like a few days ago, something like, DC, which stands for Daniel Cormier, you start cutting weight yet? And then immediately erased it. What do you make of all of this? Do you believe the story? You think they're just trying to sell a fight? What's going on?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Is it on me? Sorry, did you say Ray?
No.
I do apologise.
Quite all right. Yeah, I think this is just a bunch of hype. We saw Daniel Cormier trying to create some sort of personality for himself prior to his fight with Frank Mir on the recent Fox card, which he really needs to do. I mean, he's a good guy. He's an easy guy to root for if you know his story, but he just, I guess, didn't really have much of a mic presence, and I think now he's kind of trying to take cues from Chael Sonnen, and he can't really do it like Chael Sonnen, and it's really easy to tell when people are just being obvious and they're biting it. He's got to find his own style, his own way to hype fights, because I don't buy it right now. It's just feeling contrived. I like Cormier, but I think this is just a bunch of hype.
Yeah, I've got the story in front of me now. On his appearance on MMA Roasted. This guy, Todd Rex, the owner of Trauma MMA Combat Apparel, used to sponsor Cormier, and he was speaking with Jon Jones, and Jones told Rex that he wasn't gonna, quote, wasn't gonna fuck with any company that was in cahoots with Daniel Cormier. So to quote the podcast, this is from Todd Rex, the owner of that clothing company business. So at that point, Jon Jones and Malky Kawa are getting into a limo, and Daniel walked outside and grabbed Jon by the arm and spun him around and was like, "Dude, you got a fucking problem with me?" And I was like, "Oh my god." So they're facing off. Jon said, "Yo, I think that you, King Mo, and Rashad Evans, y'all full of yourselves." He just talks shit about Daniel. They were like in each other's face. Daniel was like, "Motherfucker, you don't know anything about me. I'm a grown-ass man. This all started when you claimed to be this wrestling aficionado, and when you met me, you didn't know who I was. Motherfucker, you knew who I was. I knew every wrestler when I was coming up." Yeah, so it's I guess pretty heated. I cannot wait to see this fight. I think I said on the last podcast of 2012 that this was the fight I was most hoping for in 2013. Ray, what is your take on this?
It's hard to know what is real and what is hype. I mean, we've seen in the last couple of fights with Sonnen and Jones, we've seen it with Diaz and GSP, we've seen it with Bisping and Boucher, and they all openly come out after and say, "Oh yeah, I like him. I was just promoting the fight." And as much fun as it is watching the promotion, it just kind of, I don't know, it needs a bit of a sour taste. You feel like you've been led up the garden path a little bit. So I don't know how much of this is real and how much of this is hype. Daniel Cormier, obviously, I think all of us have been blown away by him with what he did in the heavyweight tournament with his fight against Bigfoot and Josh Barnett. But in the same breath, his last two fights, they were piss poor. I mean, his fight with Frank Mir was awful. I mean, there was just nothing in that fight. I mean, some of us don't like stand and tag, but I think worse than stand and tag is stall and wall, and that's basically what he did. He pinned him up against the fence and hooked him for 3 rounds. It was awful to watch. So whatever Daniel Cormier decides to do, I want him to go back to being that exciting, explosive fighter, the one that knocked out Bigfoot and the one that picked up Josh Barnett and dropped him on his head, not the one that bloody hugs people and does nothing for 3 rounds. And his last fight before that was terrible as well. So yeah, if this fight happens and it's the Cormier that we've seen in the tournament, I'm all for it. But if he's going to go back to being boring, then I don't know, it's hard to get excited for someone who's boring.
I'd pick you up and grind you against the fence for 15 minutes.
I'd let ya.
Holy shit.
Ramses?
Yeah, listen, Jon Jones, DC, a.k.a. Carl Winslow. I do believe that this story about the beef is true. Number one, because it didn't come from the UFC or either camp. It just came from some sponsored dude on fucking podcast. So yeah, I do believe it for that reason. And number two, because it sounds so stupid, it has to be true. DC was mad because John Jones pretended not to know who he was. Like, when was the last time you got mad at somebody for pretending that? What? It doesn't make any sense. That's why I believe it was true. This just sounds really stupid. It happened a couple years ago, but I don't think these people are going to fight each other anytime soon. Come on, Carl Winslow, he's too fat. That's the word on the street.
Oh, sorry. Once again, I fucking thought somebody else was talking. I blame this on Jay for not being here because I kicked him off the show. The last story before Bonehead, another kind of really weird issue. This one involving Mark Hunt. Arrested and stranded in New Zealand. His visa's been taken away because he was arrested. He is supposed to fight Junior Dos Santos May 25th in roughly 2 weeks at UFC 160. He's stranded at the moment. I don't know what's going to go on. He's been pretty much live tweeting this whole ordeal, saying that he basically was just trying to help out a dickhead friend who ended up getting him in trouble, I'm assuming in a fight, which I'm pretty sympathetic to. I think we all have those dickhead friends. We want to help out at times, but just end up getting fucked in the long run for doing so. What do you take out of all this? You think it was a bonehead move on Mark's part, or just plain unlucky? As much as I want to say it's luck, you just can't surround yourself with that kind of people and put yourself in those kinds of situations when you're at the place you're in. Maybe right after your sixth straight loss, when you lost to Sean McCorkle, yeah, maybe then. But you're 2 fights away from a title shot now. You can't be doing this. Ray, what are your thoughts?
What did he actually do then? Is he saying he stepped in, his mate was in a fight and he stepped in and helped his mate? Is that the story?
That's not the official story. I don't think Mark or any officials on the New Zealand side have come out and made anything official, but from what it sounds like, yeah.
I'll tell you what then, right? If you're that guy that's picked a fight with Mark Hunt's mate, you're fucking gutted, aren't you? The last thing you want is Mark Hunt coming at you. I mean, that guy hits like a fucking truck.
Yeah, that is that's the last dude I want to see in a bar.
Is he dead?
I don't think so, but shit, I mean, Hunt just pretty much broke a UFC fighter's skull in half in his last fight.
He's got to be dead or in critical condition, surely. All joking aside, though, I want to see Mark. I don't know this full story. I don't tend to read much into the stuff that goes away from fighting. If he's stepped in to help a friend, then that's what we'd all put in that same position where one of our friends is being attacked. We're going to jump in and help anyway. In most cases, I think. So I can see where he's coming from. I just hope whatever's going on, it gets sorted. Because if we don't see Mark Hunt and Junior Dos Santos, I just think that would be an absolute shame. Because the irony is this is a replacement fight anyway. Because JDS's original opponent, of course, Alistair Overeem pulled out. But I definitely want to see JDS versus Mark Hunt. I hope we don't lose that fight.
I don't know what the fuck is going on here with this story. The chatter, the intel coming in, the word on the street, it's all confused. I'm hearing this and that. I'm hearing he was arrested. He wasn't arrested. It happened 10 years ago. He's going to be arrested tomorrow. He's dead. I don't know what's going on here with Mark Hunt. I just hope he shows up to the fight. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I know. That's my goddamn opinion. Word on the street.
Jake, I think you said it real well to start things off. You just can't surround yourself with those kind of people. Yeah, everybody loves that friend. Everybody's got that friend. The friend who they have one too many drinks, and they have one too many drinks every fucking weekend, and they start doing stupid things, and they start running around, they start getting into trouble with the law. These kind of patterns are predictable. When you're going out with that friend, that they're going to get fucking shit-faced drunk, and some shit's going to pop off. You're either going to get in trouble with the law, or you're going to get into a fight, or you're going to get into a fucking car accident. When you're hanging out with one of your friends when the shit is going to go down before it even goes down, before you've even arrived at your destination. So if it's a situation like that, Mark Hunt, he's a grown-ass man. He should know better, especially a person with the highest profile of as high a profile as he has. You gotta play it cool, man. So, I don't know what this whole situation's about, but like everyone else, I just want to see this goddamn fight because, man, with how he's been looking lately, I think he's got a chance to put something on Junior Dos Santos.
Yeah, I'm very much hoping that we get to see the fight. It kind of reminds me, like I mentioned last week, of Lesnar versus Carwin, in that you just have the two most feared strikers facing off. And we actually will get to Carwin at the other side of the Bonehead of the Week, but it is time for the Bonehead of the Week, the segment in which we give you our biggest boneheads, who messed up, who did the stupidest shit, and yeah, our boneheads of the week. I don't know what kind of timing shit I was doing there. My bonehead. Oh wait, shit. I'm not starting it off. I'm letting Ramsey start it off this week. Man. Get it together, cocksucker. It's all you, buddy.
All right, let me tell you who my bonehead of the week is. It's easy. It is Vanderlei Silva. Listen, people. Last week I'm in Las Vegas. I got a little second home over there. I'm coming home from the goddamn grocery store. And I'm trying to fumble with my keys, trying to get back in the place. I hear a lady screaming from the house next door. So I run over. There's some bitch in there. She's like, "Oh, you gotta help me, get me out. I'm trapped in here. This guy's had me kidnapped." And I'm like, "Lady, shut your mouth and go back in there and make the man his dinner before he gets back home." And I just went inside, watched some UFC, smoked some weed. Listen, the person next door is named Cesar da Silva, aka Vanderlei Silva, and I'm telling you, he's got some women trapped in there, and unfortunately I didn't give enough of a shit to rescue them. I'm not that kind of guy, alright? I mind my own business. But I'm telling you, he's up to no good. He's my bonehead of the week. Vanderlei Silva, he now has 2 hours left to respond to the challenge issued by the People's Champion, Chael Sonnen. Called him out exactly 22 hours ago. Said, listen, you have 24 hours to respond. He's challenging him out to a fight. Vanderlei's not accepting. Chael's even offering to donate it to little poor kids. Some of his purse or some shit. Vanderlei Silva, you're running out of time, sucker. I don't know what you're up to, but you can't hide. You're about to be a fancy boy, just like John Jones, just like Anderson, all the rest. Just a Brazilian bum. He's my bonehead of the week. That's the word. What's up,
Hell
Jake?
yeah, mine's pretty simple. We talked about him earlier. Jorge Masvidal. Look, I know you're trying to jockey to work yourself up the lightweight rankings, but to call Pat Healy and Jim Miller easy fights, that's past jockeying for a good spot. That's insulting two of the best, most exciting lightweights in the UFC. And, it's not going to happen anytime soon, but I hope one day he has the misfortune to step in the ring with one of those guys and just gets his lunch handed to him. And, Jorge Masvidal is my bonehead, Ray?
So my bonehead's going to be based on personal experience, and my bonehead is Cage Warriors. I had what I thought was good fortune. I had media credentials for the weekend just gone for the Cage Warriors event. Jesse Taylor was headlining, of course. He's a former UFC fighter, and he was defending his title. And I was looking forward to going to Cage Warriors. I had to get a train down. It was about a 3-hour train journey down to Cardiff in Wales, which is where the event was. And I got down there, got myself sorted, got to the arena, went up to the ticket office and said, look, I'm here with the media. Can you point me in the right direction, please? And no one really knew what to do, so I was sent to the box office. Excuse me 1 minute.
Ray's hitting the bong, ladies and gentlemen. He's taking a fat rip of the marijuana.
I'm not playing with it. So I was sent to the box office, and I said to him, "Oh look, I'm from so and so. I've come for the event. I'm looking for my media credentials." And they handed me a ticket. I said, so I thought, look, I thought it was a bit odd. So I went back to the security guy. I said, "Oh no, that's right. That's just a ticket. You're not going to get media credentials. That's just a ticket." So I thought, okay, that's not right. So I went back to the bloody box office again. And they said, well, that's what's been left with us, that, we've got your name, here's your ticket. They said, can you get hold of the promoters? Well, getting hold of the promoters is an absolute nightmare, but getting hold of them on fight day, of course, when they're busy, is always going to be harsh. So I sent an email off to them, not really expecting a response, but I got a response that said, yep, you've got your ticket, come to our offices and we'll sort you out with your media pass. Okay, so I showed him this thing. Now, this is an arena that Cage Warriors doesn't use on a regular basis, so they don't have offices. So I said, okay, well, where's their offices? I don't know. This is your arena. Where is it? And no one knows where the offices are. So in the end, they get on the microphone, they get on the walkie-talkie. Sorry, they find out where this office is, and they give me the door number of a room that's hidden somewhere away in the arena. And the staff lead me to this room. We get to this room, they open the door. It's pitch black. There's nothing in there. There's no one in there. What the fuck's going on? I've come all this way for this bloody event, and no one knows what I'm doing or where I'm going. Anyway, eventually they decide they've got to walk through this room onto a balcony, and the balcony takes you out onto the arena, so that's where you can see all the cage and everything. So there's two little women sitting there in the corner, and that's who I've got to go and see for my media credentials. So I go up to see, I'll introduce myself, show them my photo ID, and they give me my pass. It's just a little wristband, and basically it gives me access to wherever I want to go in the arena then. So I said, okay, where do I go and sit now? Oh, we don't know. Okay. Normally, you get cage side seats. So they said, oh, go down to the cage and somebody down there will sort you out. I said, okay. So I did. I went down to the cage. I was allowed in the enclosed arena because I've got my pass. I finally collared somebody, walking around like an idiot, didn't know what I was doing, who I needed to speak to, told them who I was, what I need to do. So leave it with me, I'll let you know. They potted around a bit, come back to me. You need to go back, you need to see that balcony up there, you need to go up there and sit up there. So they sent me back to where I've just come from. Travelled all this bloody way to this event for this media credential. They ended up putting me 50 yards away. It was just, I didn't even have a workstation to be able to plug in and get myself set up. It was just so unorganised. And when the event started, I think there was 3 media people there. And I mean, obviously this is the biggest promotion in Europe. You think if they get a bit more structure, they can get more media and get a bit more exposure to the event. But yeah, so the way it was organised for me personally from them, I just thought was really bad. So that's why I'm picking Cage Warriors as my bonehead of the week.
Well, goddamn, that's just not the way to go through life. For me, my bonehead of the week is Jake Shields. Jake Shields coming out. He's slated to face Tyron Woodley coming up here pretty soon. He's saying he's predicting a win by knockout or submission. Now, submission I could buy. Jake Shields, he's been known to grapple a fool up. However, winning by knockout, if Jake Shields has any knockouts on his record, I don't count them. I've never seen them occur. So as far as I'm concerned, Jake Shields has 0% chance of knocking out Tyron Woodley. Jake Shields realistically has about 0% chance of ever scoring a knockout over anyone in the UFC. Put me down as having said that. I mean, fuck, I saw Jake Shields have Dan Henderson mounted for, I'd say at least 17 to 20 minutes of a 5-round fight. As much as it pained me to watch that goddamn fight, I just wanted to see Jake get knocked out, which he almost did. But he had fucking Dan Henderson. He was in Henderson's full mount, sitting on his fucking chest for almost 20 minutes and couldn't fucking finish him off. He was punching him in the face for almost 17 to 20 consecutive minutes. Couldn't put him away. I mean, yeah, it's Dan Henderson, but Jesus Christ, any human being, you would think if you would punch them in the face for 20 minutes straight, at some point you can knock them out or finish them. Not Jake Shields. So Jake coming out saying you're going to win by knockout, get the fuck out of here. You know you're not, and you're just setting yourself up to prove you're never going to get that knockout. You're my bonehead of the week.
Get the fuck out of here, cocksucker. And, man, it's a good list this week, but I think I got to go with Cage Warriors. Like Ray said, if you're going to be the biggest promotion in Europe and really be doing this kind of amateur level shit, I mean, there are probably college basketball teams, like junior college, the lowest of the low sports teams who have it together better than Cage Warriors. So Cage Warriors, get it together, cocksuckers. That's my bonehead.
Yeah, I'll also go with Cage Warriors. I mean, they fucked with my man Sugar Ray Thompson. It ain't gonna stand anymore. It's embarrassing to them as an organization. Excuse me, the anger is consuming me right now. They inconvenienced our friend Ray. He was going up and down, this and that. He don't know where he's sitting. What the fuck, people, get it together. I wish nothing but the worst things in life for the Cage Warriors, anybody that works with that association. I hope all the bad things in life happen to you and only you forever.
My bonehead's going to go with Jake Shields for saying he can knock out Tyrone Woodley. I mean, that's just hilarious. And we've all seen what Tyrone Woodley could do. I mean, that guy's got scary power. So yeah, my bonehead's going to be Mr. Shields.
Well, I got to side with my man Ray here, and I got to pick Cage Warriors. I mean, that's just not how you want to. That's not how you want to present yourself. That's not how you want to run your business. That's not a good look for anybody at any level, let alone if you're trying to be the biggest promotion in Europe, let alone the biggest promotion in the United Kingdom. There's a lot of promotions up and coming over there. You know, you got to get your shit together, Cage Warriors. You are the bonehead of the week.
Fuck yeah, and Cage Warriors is our bonehead of the week for trying to fuck with our boy Sugar Ray. And I don't know if it was them just fucking with him or them being straight up just not a good company, not running their ship the way it needs to. Shit, I should ring them up and see if they can hire this unemployed bum. Speaking now. We do have a few more news bits to talk about before we lead it out, and like I previewed before the Bonehead of the Week, Shane Carwin announcing his retirement, just plagued with neck injuries and back injuries, formally announcing his exit from the sport, and sort of thinking back, he was an interim UFC heavyweight champion, but really, what is his legacy in the sport? It was very brief, but very bright, obviously. The one thing I'll personally always think of him for is gassing in the first round against Brock. Just literally putting all of his energy into trying to beat him in that first round and completely coming out in the second round with zero gas. And that I think, I mean, when I think of any fight just of the topic of guys running out of gas, it's the Carwin versus Brock Lesnar fight. So unfortunately, that's sort of the legacy he leaves. Jesus Christ, in my eyes. Ramses?
Look, I do have respect for Shane Carwin, but I'm gonna keep it real, like I always try to. People, let's be realistic here about Shane Carwin. What's he gonna be best known for? Losing to Brock Lesnar. It was an obviously he had to take the dive that do the math there. Brock Lesnar was bringing in 1 million pay-per-views. He's going to be known for that, and he's going to be known for, he's going to, what was it, the last Ultimate Fighter season, Roy Nelson, he ended up pussying out of that fight. You're going to remember him. That's my last memory of him. I believe the last time he had a victory was the Coach's Challenge on that Tough with Big Country Roy Nelson, where they had some sort of sprinting contest, and I think he won that. That was probably his last victory in his entire life. And look, what's his legacy? About 10 years from now, our kids, you guys as kids, they're going to think they're not going to be able to tell the difference between him and Mark Coleman. That's the word on the street, the sad truth. But God bless you, Shane Carwin.
Carwin's had some good moments in the sport. I think probably his highlight will be his knockout of Frank Mir, which was pretty spectacular. But to be honest with you, I don't think he's left a legacy. I don't think he's done enough to leave a legacy. And I think in a few years' time, people aren't really going to remember any clear, strong points about Shane Carwin and about his game. He's had some good moments, but he's not going to be talked about as one of the best.
Agreed, definitely. Shane Carwin, I mean, gosh, not to slight the guy at all, but he was an interim champion, did not defend his interim belt, lost to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, was the true UFC champion. I don't even, when I think back on Shane Carwin, I don't even recall him having the belt, truthfully. I barely even distinguish that as part of his legacy. I remember him being real hyped up. I remember, I think it was going into the Brock Lesnar fight, 12-0, 12 first-round knockouts. It looked like he was the dude who could beat Brock Lesnar, and he almost became the dude to beat Brock Lesnar, but as was mentioned, he just fucking gassed out. I think what I'll remember him for, his legacy in my mind, is just getting the ever-loving piss just beaten out of him by Junior Dos Santos. I mean, the beating he took from Junior Dos Santos, that was like a Glover Teixeira, Fabio Maldonado, Jim Hedges versus Nam Phan, Josh Koscheck versus Chris Lytle. I mean, this was up there with among the most savage of beatings. This was the kind of beating where he was just so repeatedly fucked up. I mean, I contend that was his last fight in the UFC, and I sincerely contend that fight alone, along with rumored steroid abuse, is what contributed to his body falling apart, because the beating he took from Junior Dos Santos was ungodly. I mean, he fucking ended up walking out of there looking like the Elephant Man, just fucked up, skull fractures, blood pouring from every orifice. I can virtually guarantee you that fight alone is the reason why Shane Carwin is retired today. And for me, that's what sticks out in my mind.
Yeah, it was a very, very brief but very bright, really MMA career for Carwin. I mean, other than a few fights, I'm having, I can't really think of many of Carwin's fights or his career, but he always seemed like a very nice guy. Always had a giant fan contingent. I still every now and then see people on Twitter rocking the Carwin's Army little avatar. So good for him building up a fan base and all that. He seems like a pretty wise guy. So he hopefully won't be bankrupt in a year like we see a lot of athletes do when they exit their sport. Kind of talking about being smart outside the sport, being smart inside the sport. Phil Davis saying that he's fighting smart, and he said two different things. One I totally agree with, the other I totally disagree with. He was talking more about his game plan and how he fights, and how I'm not going to be one of these guys who goes in with a bunch of bravado. I'm going to fight a fight that I know is good. If I know his striking's weak, I'm going to try and keep it standing up. If I know his ground game's weak, I'm going to try and wrestle him. I completely agree with that, Phil. And guys who are have huge egos and try and go after their opponent's greatest strength, that's just dumb. But then he goes on to say that he fights to minimize damage, and he fights risk averse, and he wants to be with it when he's older and doesn't want to have these mental problems. That I completely disagree with. Phil Davis, you're not a manager of a Burger King. You're an MMA fighter. This is a job that's gonna be very damaging physically, and Dana White's showing that he's not very tolerant to boring fighters, and his cut of John Fitch, it's just not. I mean, this is not you. You don't get into sports like MMA or hockey or football to stay safe and not get injured. And I just could not disagree more with what Phil had to say. Should fighters fight to minimize damage and be risk averse? Patrick?
Jesus Christ, that is a really tough question, Jake. I mean, I certainly respect where he's coming from. I mean, it's just kind of one of the principles in any sport, really. You want to maximize your efficiency and minimize your opponent's efficiency. Be that, in an American football game, you want to score the highest and you want to shut your opponent out. You don't want them to score a goal. You don't want them to get a field goal, a safety, nothing. That's just what true competitors want. It's just you want to do your best and you want your opponent to do their worst. And in fighting, that is the fighting equivalent. You want to inflict your game plan. You want to oppose your will, and you want to negate everything the other fighter throws at you. That being said, it does lead to your John Fitch type of fights, which were rarely entertaining. Just positional based grappling, no submission attempts. Glorified wrestling match inside a cage by one person. And that's basically what we get from Phil Davis. Phil Davis really doesn't even have good enough striking to stand up with anybody, so it's funny to hear him assess someone with poor striking like he's going to stand up with someone who has poor striking, because he is that opponent with poor striking. I respect where he's coming from regarding minimizing damage, but it's virtually impossible. You're either going to injure yourself in training or in a fight. And it's really that way in all of professional sports. We saw it with baseball just a few days ago. we had a pitcher. I don't know if I don't know if it was J.A. Happ. I don't think it was. But
yeah, it was. It was J.A. Happ. Yep, it was literally like 5 miles away from my house here in St. Pete.
Oh wow, yeah, J.A. Happ. He was pitching the game, and the batter hit
Desmond Jennings.
Drive. Desmond Jennings, yes, hit a line drive, hit him on the ear. I don't even know if they've heard back, but I mean those balls are traveling at 120 miles an hour. We're probably talking skull fractures, guaranteed. I mean guaranteed concussion. That's just an absolute guarantee. But I mean any professional sport, even soccer. I mean Jesus Christ, no offense, right? But I mean we see some nasty leg breaks in soccer. We see people just collapsing and having heart attacks. So any professional sport you get into, you have to accept the possibility of permanent damage. So it's just kind of unrealistic for Phil Davis.
Obviously, the whole talk really is the game planning thing, isn't it? And we've seen it. The higher the level you get to, it's people that bring in the game plans that tend to be able to go to the next level in most cases. And you talk there about Phil Davis and the weak striking, but you forget his last fight. That's exactly what he did in his last fight. He boxed with Vinny Magalhaes because he knew that Magalhaes had a really good ground game. So he stood and boxed with him for 3 rounds. It was boring as hell because Davis' boxing was good and he was in control of the fight, but he never looked like finishing the fight. He didn't throw any power strikes. It was stand and tag, as they say, so it wasn't great to watch. I understand why people do game planning, but it's only going to get you so far, I think. And I think we've seen that with the amount of cuts the UFC are making. And I spoke with Luke Barnett earlier on in the week, and one of the things he said was he feels that we're here to entertain fans. People have got to fight exciting, and he basically said he would rather he'd rather lose an exciting fight than win a boring fight. And he touched on his Ultimate Fighter season. Of course, he went 2-1 in that season. He obviously he won the fight to get in the house. He won with a flying knee, and then he lost to Dylan Andrews. But the fight he lost won fight of the season. So yeah, I mean, it's one thing doing it. I don't think you should be coming out saying that you're going to be doing it and you're fighting risk averse. There's going to be risk, but the problem with Phil Davis is as soon as he goes on a bad little run and loses a couple of fights, he'll get cut because he's boring, and no one really gets excited about watching a Phil Davis fight, and that's just a fact. I'm not bothered about who Phil Davis fights next. I'm not sitting here thinking, I can't wait to see what happens with Phil Davis next. I mean, his last fight was terrible. And, that he's not helping himself. He doesn't come across, he hasn't really got a great personality either. It's not like he can promote himself. He doesn't come across like that either. He seems to have a boring personality and he's got a boring fight style. But he's not going to sell pay-per-views, and so therefore he's never going to get the big bucks that's in the sport.
Phil Davis. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, go ahead, Jake. I'm sorry.
No, I actually I forgot you still had to go.
I won't be silenced, all right? Phil Davis, everyone's not talking about this, but he does look exactly like Arsenio Hall and perhaps Gregory Hines. He is a bum. He is Greg Jackson's wet dream. Phil Davis, he's a point fighter. He's boring. He stinks. And look, he fought Vinny Magalhaes, all right? It was very disappointing. Vinny, he played into that game. He let Phil Davis point fight him, and goddamn it, Phil Davis won, but it's just because he was point fighting, all right? Phil Davis, he was who we thought he was, all right? Phil Davis is who we thought he was. That's all I got to say.
And we let him off the hook.
We did.
Finally,
we let him off the hook.
We let him off the hook. Chris Camozzi, the last bit of news. Chris Camozzi, who we might actually have on the MMA podcast next week, he's in for Costa Philippou to fight Jacare Souza on the co-main event on May 18th at UFC on FX8, headlining the Belfort versus Rockhold card. What are your thoughts on Costa versus Jacare? I was excited, not Costa versus Jacare, but now Chris Camozzi versus Jacare. I was really excited for Costa Philippou, and even though I really do like Chris Camozzi, he has a very tough task in Jacare, who is obviously one of the more dangerous ground artists, and he showed against Tim Kennedy. He can knock you the fuck out too. What are your early thoughts, does Chris have a chance to get by Ronaldo Jacare Souza?
This has gone for being one of the best matchups that you could possibly hope for, at that stage of that division. Costa Philippou has been on a phenomenal run. And you talk about boring fighters. Philippou's the exact opposite. He comes out there, he doesn't win on points. He stops people. He doesn't just stop your average people. He stops good fighters, and he does it impressively. You've got to enjoy Costa Philippou's style. And the fight with Jacare it was such a good fight on paper, because you've got Jacare's amazing grappling. We know he can strike, but his strength is definitely his grappling. And then you've got Costa Philippou, who showed amazing takedown defence, as well as his phenomenal striking as well. That fight on paper, for me, was awesome. This fight on paper, Chris Camozzi, he shouldn't be in there with Jacare. Jacare deserves a higher ranked opponent. And this fight has gone from being, possible number one middleweight contender fight. That's the level I see these two guys at, to being a who really cares fight. I'll be surprised if this fight makes it out of the first round. And I'm going on what I saw with Jacare versus Ed Herman. And I think Ed Herman's pretty good, and Jacare made him look like he was nothing. And I think Herman's better than Camozzi. So for me, this is a step down. But I don't think this will make it out of the first round.
Ramses?
Oh, is it me? Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, Chris Camozzi is a friend of mine, all right? He's going to win this damn fight. He's representing the Pacific Northwest. If Coach Jamie, the living legend, Huey, vouches for this guy, then I do too. He's training with the best, all right? He's training right up there with the people's champion, that caliber of a camp. It's all over for Jacare, or whatever the hell his name is. I don't even know who that guy is, man. As far as this fight's concerned, he stinks. Chris Camozzi, follow him on Twitter. I'll try to get him on the show sometime soon. That's the goddamn word. P-Money, what do you got to say?
Yeah, son. I'm thinking Chris Camozzi. I love the dude. He's got heart. I've rooted for him since his tough appearance. Jacare, he's a bad man. This is going to be a good fight. And really, I think, not to disparage Camozzi, he's almost like a Matt Brown type at 185, big for his weight class. He's one of those guys that's like his skill set, it doesn't really, nothing really impresses directly, but he always ends up winning these fights. He's on a really good run right now. The timing's probably perfect as far as he's concerned. So I'm certainly looking forward to this one. I do think Jacare is an early favorite for good reason. But hey, this is mixed martial arts. Anything can happen. Camozzi, he's a good cat, and I believe in him. I'm giving him a good shot in this one.
And staying with Mr. P Money, before we end this podcast, you had a special topic you wanted to bring up?
Yes, I did, Jake. Thank you very much. Ray and I, we were corresponding a little bit with Pat Curran earlier this afternoon, trying to get him to rejoin the MMA Mental podcast and talk about the fantastic run he's been on in Bellator mixed martial arts. He's the 145-pound champion over there, was very close to defeating Eddie Alvarez and being the 155-pound champ. I mean, this guy, he's one of the best, probably pound for pound, who's not in the UFC right now. And I just wanted to pose a little question to the panel. Jake, if you'll start us off, I wanted to ask, what do you guys think about the Bellator 145-pound division? Because I personally think that it's possibly as good, if not maybe even better than the UFC's 145 division. Am I tripping? What's going on?
Well, the UFC weight. Sorry, I have like eight tabs up. I'm trying to close half of them. The UFC 145 class. I don't know if you really can fuck with it. But there's so much that's up in the air. We talked about it, I think, on the MMA podcast, how the 145 what podcast was this? Shit, I'm doing too fucking many of them. Oh no, this was the early stoppage with Jay. We were talking about the featherweight class, and there is just, there there's so much in the air now. You know, you have the title shot with Pettis and Aldo. You don't know if Aldo will move up. You don't know if Pettis will move up. You have Edgar fighting. Who is Edgar fighting? Edgar's fighting Oliveira. Lamas is fighting Korean Zombie, and Swanson is fighting Seaver. And all of those could be thought of as a fight for number one contendership. Thinking about the people in the Bellator featherweight class, you obviously have Pat Curran and Daniel Strauss. You have, what's his name? I can't pronounce his name. You have Pitbull. It's good, but I mean, if you take Curran out of that equation, I don't know if you really. I mean, it's definitely good. Curran needs to come to the UFC, and probably Strauss does too as soon as possible. But there are just so many guys in the UFC. I don't know if you really can compare the two.
Holy shit, man! P Money, you were given any topic to come up with, and you're hitting me with who's the best 145 Bellator fighter? What? What, P-Money? Let me tell you something about Bellator. Why aren't we talking about the real problem with them, all right? Who cares about their divisions and their fighters? They're a piece of shit organization right now. We're all hearing the damn truth come out live from Mr. Eddie Alvarez, all right? Bellator, Viacom, Bjorn Rebney, they are fucking this man. And they're not only fucking one of the best fighters out there, they're fucking the fans, all right? They're fucking us. Anybody that likes watching good fights, they're keeping this man just on the fucking sidelines, not letting him fight. They're starving him and out. They're trying to starve him out, basically, at this point, okay? They're not going to match the UFC's deal. They're fucking this man. Bellator is fucking Eddie Alvarez. Do you understand? He has kids. He had to fucking... Oh, man, it was so sad. I wanted to fucking cry when I heard that Eddie Alvarez, he was on, Ariel Hawaii's podcast, and he said, listen to me, people, I've had to sell one of my 3 or 4 houses. I almost fucking cried for the man. Do you understand me? His name is Alvarez, and now he's got to deal with white man problems? This is bullshit. Bellator, get your shit together. That's what I think of your 165-pound division. Goddamn Bellator, don't watch it. They stink. They're screwing you and they're screwing a fighter. What makes you think they're not going to keep on doing it? No reason to trust them. The UFC's giving you free fights, and they're fucking paying guys that aren't even fighting for them anymore. They're paying for guys surgery like Connor Hune. He isn't even fucking fighting. He was fighting on Strikeforce, but they picked up the tab, paid for his surgery. What do you think Viacom's going to do? They're pinching those pennies. Fuck them. That's all I got to say about it. God damn it. Word on the street.
Jesus. Coming hard with it.
Wow.
I love Bellator, and I think they've got. What stands Bellator out and what gives them the edge, not over the UFC, because the UFC is obviously by far the best promotion in the world. But what gives them the edge over other promotions, for me, is their tournament format. I think the tournament format is brilliant, and you get your true number one contenders. I mean, it doesn't always go the way you expect it to go, and we saw that last season with Doug Marshall winning his bracket. And with Eddie Newton winning his bracket, and of course him knocking King Mo out with a spinning back fist, which was just absolutely mental. As far as the featherweight division, I think the featherweight division is
MMA mental.
The featherweight division is a good division, like all their divisions, but it's not on the same comparison as the UFC featherweight division, in my opinion. The only one who I'd really, really want to see over there at the moment is Pat Curran. I want to see Pat Curran in the UFC. Daniel Strauss has looked good, but I'm not as excited to see him in the UFC as what I am Pat. I mean, who doesn't want to see Pat Curran versus Jose Aldo? For me, that's just a dream matchup.
For sure. Well, I appreciate your input, gentlemen. There's definitely a few guys I'd certainly like to see in there. Pat Curran, Daniel Strauss, he could be good. I'm also liking this Shabila Shamalayev. I think he's pretty good. Mike Richmond, K. Van Rickles. There's some good cats who I think could do fairly well. And let's not forget Marlon Sandro. He's also been fighting for Bellator. Oh man, and there was another Russian. Oh, forgive me for just saying another Russian.
Is it Frodo? Is it Frodo?
What's that?
It's Frodo. He's featherweight, isn't he?
Who's that?
Frodo, the one they called Frodo.
Lord of the Rings, took it back to Mordor, dumped it in. His friend was Sam. He fought the fucking Gollum guy. He's sucking his dick.
Yeah, Yeah, Frodo. I wasn't sure if he was 145 or 155. He's looking good, but it's not Frodo. Marlon Sandro, his last opponent, he was gifted a decision, and this guy lit Marlon Sandro up. It was one of the craziest fucking fights I'd ever seen. I mean, just the things that they were throwing and that this guy was landing with. If anybody can look up Marlon Sandro's record and see what his last split decision win was, or who it was against. I mean, there's a few guys from Bellator's 145 division who I'm really liking right now.
Definitely. And before we send it out, I just wanted to comment on this picture of Dana White. You would think after April, where the UFC did an event every single weekend, Dana White would finally be hanging out, enjoying himself, taking a deep breath. He just posted a picture of himself wearing a polo shirt 3 sizes too small for him. And he's holding a little turtle, saying that he was driving around St. Louis saving turtles from walking across streets. I don't know, Dana White, you're fucking crazy. Take a break, Jesus Christ. I mean, you're one of the busiest guys in the world. You don't need to be spending your Thursday afternoons driving around New York looking for or St. Louis looking for turtles to save. Ray's typing weird Russian names into the Skype chat, so I think it is a good time to play it out.
Take a closer look at that Dana White photo. He's getting ready to fucking punt the game-winning field goal on that fucking thing. It's gonna be a fucking half shell when he's done with it. He's about to drop kick that fucking thing. Take a closer look. That's the word on the street.
That is the word on the street. Take a look at his Twitter if you haven't seen it yet. Thank you so much for tuning in. This show, the MMA Roundtable, is every Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern. That's 10 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. on the West Coast in Pacific Time. Ray, what's going on with MMA Mental one more time?
This week, then, we had our big interview this week was with Luke Barnett. He gave us all the inside info on the house. He told us the one housemate he really didn't like, and he was very honest and open about it. He told us who he wants to face next. He called out 2 European fighters in the middleweight division. Said they shouldn't be there. They're boring. He wants to fight them and send them packing, which I thought was great to hear him say. It's always nice when you get a fighter being honest and not holding back. We also spoke to...
Ray, Mr. Sugar Ray Thompson.
Yes.
I'm a Luke Barnett fan. I want to hear who his enemy in the house was, who he disliked. Where can I listen to that?
Have you not heard? Because I actually mentioned you on the interview as well, Ramses. You were mentioned in that interview as well.
No, I haven't heard it yet, man. Where can I listen?
I will send you the link. It's on. That's
not good radio.
MMA Victor, MMA Mental, on YouTube. I'll tweet out a link straight after the show. People can come and have a listen to it. But yeah, he did mention being on Word on the Street podcast on the interview as well.
Fuck so, yeah! What is the Word on the Street?
Yeah, pass it over.
Oh yeah, the Word on the Street. Listen, tonight I'm still trying to nail him down. He flaked on a previous interview, but we should be having Bloodstained Lane. If you don't know who he is, then you're gonna listen to this and still have a good time, because you're gonna be saying, what the fuck? Who is this motherfucker? It's gonna be a fun one tonight. And just follow me on Twitter, the Aunt Jimmy Show on Twitter. Your life will change in some drastic way. I can't guarantee that it will be good though. And that's the Word on the Street.
That is the Word on the Street. And also check out Jay's podcast, The Early Stoppage. That's on MMA Mental and MMA Victor. MMA Victor, you can get in your picks, get in on the forums, and check out all of our videos and podcasts. It's a great little conglomeration. That's MMAVictor.com. And don't forget to follow our podcast. That's the MMA Podcast every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the MMA Podcast, at MMA Mental, at J_Jeans, at the Aunt Jimmy Show, at Sweet Pappy Jones, at C. Lowenstein, at Buffalo Dave 10 RIP. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week. We'll have a fight to break down. That's UFC on FX8 next week. Belfort versus Rockhold. Pumped about that. Once again, you guys keep it going, and we could not appreciate the kind words more. So until the 31st episode next week on the 16th, that's Thursday at 5 p.m., we'll see you then. Take it easy, guys. We got
Word.
213, historical flip down, you know I'm with that G. So fire in the hole, slick with the flow. High caliber rappers is here to shatter the fucking